I'm Jesse McAnally.
And I'm Andrew DeWolf.
And I'm Brianna Jones.
And welcome to Musicals with Cheese, a podcast where I try to get Andrew to like musical theater. And we've got an extra super special guest today, guys. Oh, you're not gonna yes and me there, Andrew?
The most special guest. We have a very special guest.
Hell yeah.
I wasn't ready for it.
You were not ready in any way. Please welcome to the show the creator of FilmJoy and its flagship show, Movies with Mikey Neumann.
It's an honor to be here in the studio with you.
Wink. How are you doing today, Mikey?
I'm good. It's been a little all over for us as of late, but I'm eating well. Food is still great. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but
This food thing? Oh my God, I've heard of it.
I haven't heard of this. Can you tell us a little more?
No.
Oh, already.
This bit has run out of steam.
Andrew, you're either with it or you're not.
Yeah, Andrew.
Sorry, but you're not.
I guess I'll have to stick with cheese. That's all I know.
Oh, that's a good transition. Mikey, you actually picked our topic for today, and then I added more nonsense to it. But what are we talking about today?
Okay, we are talking about the Aristocats. I don't know if I have to wave my arms when I do that.
No.
In a jazz-esque
if you
fashion.
want to.
I do.
Oh, there we go. We got the jazz.
The
hands.
Aristocats.
The Aristocats. And the Aristocats Kids, because I'm a monster.
And Aristocats Jr., the licensable stage production you too can put on at your elementary school.
You got 30 minutes to kill.
Masterpiece.
Find a better thing to do if you have 30 minutes to kill. I don't want to.
I can't even think of anything.
Yeah. Fuck Ted Lasso.
Pizza. Eat a pizza instead of watch Aristocats Kids.
You can do those both at the same time. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, shoot. Oh, no. You're right, Andrew. You found the one better thing than pizza and Aristocats Kids. Cue the music, Bree.
Crazy, man. Crazy. Come on, alley cats. Sing it. Everybody wants to be a cat. Because the cat's the only cat who knows where it's at. Everybody's picking up on that feline beat. Because everything else is obsolete.
So, Aristocats and Aristocats Kids is technically a musical with music and lyrics by Richard M. Sherman and Robert B. Sherman, Al Reinker, and Floyd Huddleston. Music was adapted for Aristocats Kids by Brian Louisville, which I guess he's just the guy that they hired to redo the orchestrations and all that. It was also adapted with additional lyrics by Michael Bernard. It is based on the 1970 Disney film The Aristocats, and the plot of The Aristocats is Madame's jealous butler, Edgar, catnaps Duchess and her kittens and abandons them in the Parisian countryside. What's a cat to do? Luckily, Thomas O'Malley and his ragtag bunch of alley cats come to their rescue. With a beloved Disney score, the feline adventure in the Aristocats is sure to get your audiences tapping their feet to its hip, jazzy beat.
Ah, very nice.
All right. So, Mikey, I'm assuming you picked this because you had a real deep emotional connection to the original Disney film.
I thought I did.
Oh, no.
Well, I have a deep emotional connection to the song that is so good that I consider it a musical. Because, how many songs have to be in your movie? Or is it diegetic versus non-diegetic? What qualifies a musical?
That is actually a fight I've had
Disney
many times.
movies, it's hard. Yeah,
I have no skin in this game, so...
So a lot of it has to do with how the songs are used to tell a story. So a lot of folks would argue that since these do not push the story, this is not technically a musical, but a movie with songs.
Counterpoint.
Oh, here's the counterpoint.
Let's go.
No character has a story.
That is also fair.
And therefore, everybody.
I've not heard that argument before. Is it a musical if no characters have a story?
It's a song cycle at that point.
Their songs aren't pushing the plot along, but neither is the plot.
Oh my God.
There is no plot.
We're coming for you, Aristocats.
I still love it. I think it ends with the most banger of a song for cats. Sorry, other cats.
You don't have to say sorry to other cats.
Everybody wants to be a cat is better than cats.
I feel like no one's arguing. Like that's a
Yeah, I like put in my hands like I made a point.
Step aside,
really, I made no
Rum
point.
Tum Tugger. We got Duchess and the O'Malley gang.
The cats that need to check their privilege. Duchess.
I mean, that is basically the plot, but not really. The plot is rich cats get shown the streets, and it's Annie. It's Annie. I brought this up earlier.
Yeah.
Like a little orphan cat gets adopted by a millionaire, and then like has a family now. Great. A+.
It does star O'Malley the alley cat in both the Nick Jr. version but O'Malley is like the Mad Mardigan of Disney animated films, and if anyone has ever made a point that good on this podcast, I'll eat a shoe. And by a shoe I mean a pizza, because I am very hungry.
While watching Aristocats Kids.
No, I am not recommending that. Please do not put me on that position.
O'Malley is just Baloo again. Am I wrong?
No.
Oh, okay,
It's
so
Little John
it is-
before Little John.
It is important to note that in the sort of pantheon of Disney films, 1970 is Aristocats, and that exists right between The Jungle Book and right before The Sword and the Stone.
Yes.
And that's my fact.
A
There
dark
it is.
time
There
for
we go.
Disney. Let's just say that. Not their peak.
It's kind of a weak point, yeah. And
Andrew, you were telling me right before we started recording, like,
sure,
how much you hated this, without mincing words in any
I
way
am
whatsoever.
so sorry.
okay. The movie I have watched a lot. It was one of the few movies I had as a kid, so we watched it a lot of times. And I think I thought I had remembered it, and then I rewatched it, and I didn't remember it. And I'm realizing now that I didn't remember it because nothing fucking happens. It's so boring.
There's the geese come along, and then they waddle.
Yeah.
Uncle
and then they
Waldo, he has a little butt dick.
Uncle Waldo's great. Old school
It's
Disney.
like there's so many useless points in this story. Like you got the dogs that are just like there to troll around with Edgar. And then you have the geese who are there to troll around with O'Malley in the water, and then the uncle, which is like, this is just a sidetrack. There's no reason for this to be here. Well, I mean, there's not really much of a reason for anything in the whole film, except for, I mean, Edgar's the real lead, right? Because Edgar's the only one that has any sort of motivation whatsoever.
The kids, they want to get home. That's a motivation enough. Come on. You're being unfair.
Did you pay attention to the song about scales and arpeggios? Because they learned how to sing an arpeggio.
Yeah.
Kind
and
of.
like the most boring song.
La la la.
The most boring song ever written so children could maybe sing it in like a classical music pastiche.
Well, as we know now, they can't.
But I'm going to defend the kids in this movie. I think the kids are charming as fuck in this movie.
Yeah, they are. I think this movie is charming. I walked away liking it. It's just hard.
Yes, but I guess what we're saying then, since there is such a thin plot, and if you cut all the plot out, you got a 35-minute story, the Aristocats Jr. is the best and most linear version of
Aristocats
it.
Jr. it's the streamlined. It's streamlined for a modern audience.
All the important beats are hit. That's super important.
Yeah.
What were the beats? Could you enumerate them?
The beats were, they meet O'Malley, they get home.
There's geese. There's geese. I'm so sorry, Aristocats. I'm so sorry.
I mean, there's like the geese show up. They help him from drowning. It's like the hijinks on the way home. What's the difference between this and like Toy Story? This is like The Secret Life of Pets plus a little bit of classism added.
I think the animation is a knockout.
I am going to disagree with you.
Why?
I think it looks very bad. This is.
Is it the sketchy style? Because that was just Disney style. Do you hate the Jungle Book and Sword in the Stone and all that whole generation of?
I think I hate the 101 Dalmatians, which really kind of started it. A little more than
that's fair.
Where it looks really rough there, and I think it's even worse here. Whereas in Sword in the Stone, it kind of leans into like more cartoony aspects, where this is still trying to be in like the Snow White animals kind of move like animals.
Yeah, I don't mind the animation. I think probably for the time it looked really good. It's just we're spoiled now.
The rotoscoping work was some of the best I've ever seen in a film. The problem is it just doesn't matter because it's in service of
nothing.
A goose.
I mean, the when the goose are walking away from the camera, I mean that's quite a sight to behold. You know,
they waddle. There's like.
How do you think Goose?
Some
Andrew?
shimmying going on. What was that?
How do you think Goose?
Is this from the movie? I don't remember this. If this is from the movie,
it is 100% from the movie.
I already forgot.
They say it several times.
I watched it an hour ago.
Like that's how they tell him to walk. Like, how do we walk? Ooh, think Goose. And I was like, how does one do that?
Right. How do we walk? Think Goose, and then they all like waddle. Or kind of.
And then in the musical, they just rip off Young Frankenstein, where it's like, walk this way, and then they all do it.
Yeah. Can we talk about the kids one for like a bit? I want to talk about the kids one.
Please. I wrote down the way they sell this on their website.
Oh.
Based on the bullet. Yeah, that.
What do they have?
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta do voice actor voice.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Based on the beloved Disney animated film. I don't know why this sounds like I'm gonna kill everyone.
This is Edgar reading. He's gonna kill them cats.
Based on the beloved Disney animated film and featuring a jazzy, upbeat score, Disney's The Aristocats Kids is a non-stop thrill ride of feline fun, complete with unbelievable twists and turns.
Unbelievable!
Citation
so much happens.
Oh, wait, what was the was there even a twist in this story?
No!
There's especially one I wouldn't believe.
Yeah, at this point, because like the second paragraph says, in the heart of Paris, a kind and eccentric millionaire wills her entire estate to Duchess, her high society cat, and her 3 little kittens, which does happen in both the movie and the kids' musical.
Okay, I feel really bad for Edgar. Am I alone in this?
Is he the butler?
Yes.
The butler, yeah.
You're alone.
Who leaves their entire estate to cats?
Fucking wackadoo people.
Who kidnaps other people's cats and ships them to other countries?
Edgar.
I also going to be like Edgar.
People with a lot of money in the game.
That's when it's like $300 million.
I mean,
okay, my only issue with Edgar is that he didn't wait for the woman to die and then do it.
I mean,
like you wait for her to die and then you kill the cats.
You would own the cats at that point. You could literally be like, this one's got a weird limpy foot. I'm just gonna put him down. Like literally, no one's gonna like bat an eye at that. Then the millions are yours.
Yep, the end. But
Andrew,
no, what's
I want
that?
to stop you for a second. When you ask who would leave their estate to their cats, I want to let you know that it's Karl Lagerfeld of Chanel and Fendi who left a portion of his $200 million to his cat.
I don't like Fendi anymore. Oh no.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, if you leave something like money to an animal, you're a bad person. Like you're just a bad person.
And that applies to all animals, no exception.
Humans included.
No, humans.
I was
the
trying
one
to trick him.
Humans is the one that you can leave it to because they can actually spend money. Cats can't do that.
I mean, you
Neither
can train
can
a monkey to
dogs.
spend money. A monkey knows how to buy smokes.
Okay, maybe a monkey that knows how to buy smokes you can leave like $10 to.
For smokes. For monkey smokes.
1 pack of smokes. So
Fine, 22 pack.
I don't
want him to smoke too much.
to derail this back to the movie for a second, but something
Yes,
just
please.
hit my head when I was talking. I have seen this movie so many times, but never in English.
Interesting.
What?
Yeah.
I feel like not knowing what's happening would let you just enjoy the visuals.
I mean, when it's on VHS in your school and it's Spanish class, so you'll like, and your teacher's out for 2 months, and the only movie you have to watch, and you have to watch it, is the Aristocats, and they just kept cycling it from the beginning again. So,
do you know any of the songs in Spanish?
No, because the songs they do in English, like they just do the songs in English, and then
Still do.
I know. It's like the least interesting version of the movie to watch. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
I don't think they let you watch this in schools anymore.
Yeah, probably not. That's a good point. But then again, if it's in Spanish, I don't know what a Spanish. Oh God, yeah.
I mean, I feel like we have to briefly mention it. There's some like horrific racism.
Okay, so it starts with Disney's trademark, these were wrong then and they're wrong now card. And I turned to my partner and I'm like, did I make a mistake? Like, I didn't pick Dumbo, which has better songs, to be frank.
Yeah.
And about that, you can't skip that thing, because I'm trying to reference clips or whatever, and then it just won't let me go past it. I can't skip it. I got to sit there for 10 seconds before I even start watching the Aristocats, even if I've already watched it that day a little bit.
This appeared to be during Disney's cheap Asian or Asian American stereotypes, specifically with Siamese cats.
Yes.
Because it's the same bit from Lady and the Tramp, just somehow worse.
I don't know if it's worse. It's at least the same. I don't know. I have to rewatch Lady and the Tramp to really make a statement on that, I guess.
Lady and the Tramp is in widescreen, so it feels fancier.
It's bad in both. We can agree to that.
It is bad in both, absolutely.
But most of the movie is just innocuous cats walking around in the dirt. It's not much of anything.
Yeah, it's just when you get to that part, you're just like, oh, and it's right in the best song too.
Yes, you're like having a great time, and then it just pops out.
Yeah, and everybody's eyes go.
The Chinese cat, as credited in the movie.
Yeah, you must use quotes.
Yeah, it says, let me take a verse, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah, Tigger did a racism. Oh no.
All right. I think that's enough.
Thanks for listening to our show. No.
But thankfully, they do cut it in Aristocats Kids.
They do. Another massive improvement from Aristocats to Aristocats Kids.
I disagree because it also cuts Uncle Waldo, who is the best part of the Aristocats.
It also cuts the two dogs. They're trimming a lot of fat.
But they add like a bunch of dogs and they give the dogs their own song.
That's true.
And they put them in like military fatigue, so I automatically don't like them.
But we don't have to like watch a painfully long scene of dogs getting their stuff fish hooked away.
But it's Slim Pickens as like a French dog named Napoleon. It's great.
Yeah. That was great.
Yeah, Andrew. So maybe learn to have some fucking fun at a Disney movie.
Like that scene was like 30 minutes long, okay? That's like half the movie.
But those lighting effects during Everybody Wants to Be a Cat, state of the art. State of the art.
It is. They're changing colors. All the cats are weird colors.
Yeah, it was like purple and then it's green, and in 1970 you're like, whoa.
This is trippy. Everybody's like high and enjoying it. Except me, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, the movie isn't a story. It's just kind of things happen, and it's a charming road movie, I guess.
I mean, I think the biggest issue isn't that it's got no plot. I feel like the like little stops that they make aren't funny enough to justify it. Usually when you have this type of movie, there's like a lot of stops that are like, you know, really novelty, like kind of stuff. Whereas this one is just like, there's a goose, there's a train.
The goose drinks a lot, but then there's also two other gooses who do not.
Yeah, if every stop was Everybody Wants to Be a Cat, it's like they make one stop and it's like they're having a party, and then they make another stop and it's like some crazy thing. Like, that would be fun. But instead
I want the movie that's just the last song.
Yeah.
Like their adventures in Paris. Like Aristocats 2 could totally work.
Hey, that was a thing. It was a Disney animated sequel that was going to be coming out in 2007-ish. But John Lasseter, you know, that piece of shit, canceled it as soon as he like joined in. Yeah, we missed out on more walking around France, I'm assuming.
I feel like there's a huge amount of improvements that we're all touching on when we go to Aristocats Kids, though.
All right, Andrew, give us the rundown of what's better in Aristocats Kids.
It's shorter, which means Everybody Wants to Be a Cat takes up more time.
And they have
percentage-wise.
reprises of Everybody Wants to Be a Cat.
Everybody Wants to Be a Cat opens it. Everybody Wants to Be a Cat closes it. It's everywhere.
It is all over this. Yes, you are right.
They give the goose a song. They take away the drunk goose, but they give the other two geese a song. Mm-hmm. That's an improvement, maybe.
Yeah. And they don't just invite themselves on the adventure.
We don't have to spend any more time with that little mouse than we need to. They don't even name the mouse.
I mean,
I was confused at first because it looked both like the Great Mouse Detective and the husband rat in The Rescuers, which also starred Eva Gabor. So there's another weird connection to a better movie.
Do you think they added the mouse character because they had animation from The Rescuers that they could reuse?
And they had Winnie the Pooh just standing around willing to do the voice of the mouse or the rat.
My partner made a point when she noticed there's this animation of one of the young boy cats who does like and like all his hair sticks up.
Yeah.
Yep.
They reused that animation 4 times in the film.
Oh yeah, they did.
And it drove. She's like, it's the same. Like, which is old Disney, but it was a little much on that one constantly reused animation.
Yeah, they really liked that animation. They used it, and I think they reused the sound effect too. To be honest,
they did.
All right. We talked about Everybody Wants to Be a Cat in both versions and how it's the best song in all versions.
It is.
The Sherman Brothers basically wrote every song in this show except for 2. One of them is Everybody Wants to Be a Cat because obviously that just has a different feel than the other ones. And then the other one is the Thomas O'Malley Cat, which is written by Terry Gilkyson. Which is weird because that's the only song that they wrote. That person wrote for this, and then Floyd Huddleston, Al Reinker wrote "Everybody Wants to Be a Cat" and nothing else. Like that was their contribution, which was like that's enough. Thank you for that. And I don't know, the Sherman Brothers were the go-to folks for that, and these folks didn't really do anything else outside of write the song for here. Find it fascinating.
What songs did the Sherman Brothers write then?
They wrote the opening, The Aristocats, which is literally no one's favorite song. It is just kind of...
I already kind of forget how that goes.
Oh, they're Aristocats, and it's the opening title sequence I'm singing.
Oh, right, yeah.
They wrote the Scales and Arpeggios songs.
That not my favorite song.
And
did not get stuck in my head.
I dare you guys to try to hum this one. She Never Felt Alone. Those are their 3.
She Never Felt Alone. Oh, wait, is that in... No, that's not what it is. When is that?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Is that in the credits? Did they put that in the credits?
No. I'm willing to bet this is like the love song in the middle of Everybody Wants to Be a Cat, where they kind of have their like a little lovey moment. And then they just kind of go back to Everybody Wants to Be a Cat.
I consider that entire sequence to be Everybody Wants to Be a Cat.
But there is that lull in it where it is kind of like the romantic piece between O'Malley and Duchess.
And she's on the harp.
Mm-hmm. That, the movie
of instruments a cat could play. Exactly. Probably not a harp, actually. Probably not.
That requires a lot of finger work and thumbs.
As far as instruments cats could ruin, harp's at the top of the list.
Harp is very high. I bet you a cat would try to jump through it.
That's probably true. Is there videos on YouTube of that?
Oh, I'm sure of it. Like some very fancy harp player just like finds it and it's all torn apart.
Cats like hanging in the middle of it.
Like, please help me, master. I've destroyed this thing. I've saved you. I guess, like, oh my God, like, is there anything else we want to say about the movie and the musical and how they differ?
I mean, one of them has some kids in it, and the other one has only kids in it.
I mean, there's nothing preventing you from putting on an adult's version of Aristocats Kids. Sorry, Aristocats Kids!
There is the title,
Mikey. I think the title forbids it. Like, I'm imagining a community theater production. Like, hey, we're buying the rights. MTI, we're getting Aristocats Kids. All right. What's your age group? Oh, we're all like in our 40s. we're doing this though.
How old is Peter Pan usually? Case rested.
You're right, but that's not Peter Pan Jr., which is also a show.
Oh, well, then I stand corrected.
So is there not an Aristocats?
No. All right, we're gonna talk about Disney theatrical for a minute.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
So usually they take their most popular films and then they bring them to Broadway and try to like get them. The exceptions to that are rare. So we have things like Hunchback of Notre Dame, which famously never made it to Broadway, but was a really big hit in La Jolla and in Germany. And then we have Disney's The Aristocats Kids, which was strictly written to be a kids musical for young kids. And I don't know why, but these two, they stick with me as like, what, maybe they're like, what is the 70s style thing that we could like embrace? Because there are other kids musicals. Actually, no, now that I'm looking, there's a lot of these fuckers.
Wait, what are we looking at here?
We got Disney's Aladdin Kids. There's like 3 different versions of Disney's Aladdin. We got Disney's Aladdin Jr. and Disney's Aladdin Kids.
Wasn't there an Aladdin actual Broadway show as well?
Yes,
though?
but I think these came out before the Broadway show. Then we have Beauty and the Beast Jr., Finding Nemo Jr., Alice in Wonderland Jr., Freaky Friday, the one-act edition, Frozen Jr., and then Frozen Kids. I mean, those are 2 very different shows. Let me put that out there.
Frozen Jr. and Frozen Kids? Which one is for the older group?
I don't... We're going to pull them up and we're going to find out. So Frozen Jr., it looks like it's just, they don't even explain it very well. So
Wait,
okay, it's the length. So Frozen Jr. is 60 minutes and Frozen Kids is 30 minutes. So that's the big difference between a junior and a kids.
Well, they have an hour version of Frozen, don't they, that they play at the theme parks?
Yes.
I think we covered that and it wasn't terrible.
We have 101 Dalmatians Kids, Winnie the Pooh Kids, My Son Pinocchio Kids, Mary Poppins Jr., and The Little Mermaid Jr., and The Lion King Jr., and The Lion King Kids, and The Jungle Book Kids. So this is a whole different ballpark of kids musicals.
Kids in all capitals, that's a branding thing.
Yes, and it's different from Junior. Junior is not kids. Disney, we're
learning a
mess.
lot today. We're learning a lot.
Mikey,
really.
Before you agreed to do this show, did you even know that they had like that many versions of musicals just for children?
I mean, I didn't know to the degree that I know now when I looked it up and realized Disney had cut up their entire filmography and remixed it into things they can license to schools and make a lot of money. I would like to know the financial figures of that whole thing.
Oh my God. Okay, sorry. You know Aida, Andrew?
Yes.
There's a junior version, and I clicked it because I'm like, how are you going to do a junior version? They suffocate to death in a pyramid at the end. And then I pull it up, and it's just blatantly 2 white people. Like...
2 white people as Egyptians?
Yep. Oh my God, Disney, that's not your marketing strategy.
It's time to stop.
Speaking of it's time to stop, it's time for our favorite segment that is a little different than usual this time. It's Bree Views, but it's a challenge. Ooh, we got a game going on, and it's between Mikey and Andrew. They're gonna take turns.
Ooh.
Bree, want to explain the rules to us?
Okay, so I have here several reviews from either parents or children. I'm going to read them to you, and you are going to guess if it was submitted by a parent or a child.
And this is for the original 1970 film, because no one was willing to be mean to children about the Aristocats Kids, apparently.
Until we came along. We were brave enough to stand up to those children.
Please don't include me in the...
Mikey Neumann is standing up to children. Let's go.
All right, let's get ready to rumble.
Let's go. All right, Bree, you pick who's first.
Ooh, okay. Let's go Andrew.
Okay.
Okay. And the first one is titled Yes, Mama.
What?
This is the title. It's just Yes, Mama. Okay.
Okay.
Obedience role model. I like it when anytime Mama Cat calls her kittens and they answer with a Yes, Mama and obey right away. 5 stars.
Okay. This has to be from a parent and probably not a good one. Children do not like obedience, and they would not appreciate this. This has to be a parent.
You're correct.
Ding, 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 ding. And I want to also say this is from a website called Common Sense Media, where they try to rate appropriateness of movies.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. This is going to be good. I'm excited.
All right, Brie, Mikey's
All right,
turn.
Mikey,
Let's go.
this one's for you. Title, Violent but Never Gets Old. I have no idea what to say here. 4 stars.
Adult.
What was that?
Adult.
It was an 11-year-old boy.
Violent, but it never gets old.
This is the most violent film of all time.
I'm losing.
You know?
So wait, what violence are they talking about?
He almost murdered like kittens.
I mean, yes, I suppose. It wasn't very explicit, though. They just kind of fall down.
My kids had nightmares, Andrew.
Okay, fair enough. Let's go to the next one. I'm
All right,
ready. I'm
Andrew.
ready.
This one's titled... Shit, okay. A classic, but racist.
Okay.
I watch this movie almost every day growing up. It's a classic, gentle, wholesome story, apart from the misogyny and racism, of course. Thomas calling Duchess baby and doll makes me incredibly uncomfortable. It is a very pretty and sweet movie as long as you remember / tell your children don't treat women like objects and that racism isn't funny or acceptable these days. Overall,
These days, it used to be.
You are doing great. You
It
almost
used to
got
be
there.
acceptable.
You almost got there.
Nowadays, we gotta stop.
okay, well, here comes the last line. Overall, the story has a great message.
Everybody wants to be a cat. Great message.
It's a great message. You should murder animals for money. Good message.
Okay. Overall, the story has a great message and lovable characters. 4 stars.
Okay, I mean, my gut goes with parent because of how it's written, but I don't know if adults care this much about racism, so...
I'm sorry, what? Can I disagree with that statement?
I've met people that are over 40 and they don't care, so I don't know.
I see what Andrew's trying to say here, which is I can just imagine a lot of like 40-year-olds and boomers older being like, man, this is the good old days back before you could censorship and everything, before fucking everything got PC. Man, Aristocats.
I'm still gonna go with parent because of how it's written, though.
That was a 14-year-old child.
I knew it! It had to be a kid! Parents don't care!
It contained the phrase, as I was growing up, and it's a child.
They're 14!
You're still growing up, kid. Sorry to tell you this. Sorry you had to learn
You got
this
a
way.
lot of learning to do, kid.
Hey, he's already doing better than a lot of 40-year-olds. Let's be say.
Millennials are 40, dog. We got old.
Yeah.
Fair
I will
enough.
say there are equally as many racist millennials. I've been onto that side of YouTube on accident.
So the Aristocats.
The
Do me,
Aristocats
so
made
me, do me,
an
so
alt-right.
me.
I gotta go. What'd you say? Oh yeah, it's on fire right now, and I have to leave right now.
All right. But Mikey, you have to stay
Yeah.
so you can answer this question.
Incorrectly again.
Is it a parent or is it a child? Okay.
I think we're tied up now.
No,
right?
I'm at 0.
No.
Oh,
He's still at 0. I'm still
Hey, you can
technically
still
in the
tie it
lead.
up, though.
Yeah.
All right. Title: Antiquated gender and cultural stereotypes.
Oh, again.
Not impressed. The male lead cat is the stereotypical cat. The female lead cats constantly need saving. Seen with a, quote, Chinese cat featured slant eyes, chopsticks, and a joke about fortune cookies. Also had a drunk scene with some geese. That was a little hard to explain to my child. Plot is slowly moving. All of that said, my 6-year-old enjoyed it. I say skip it.
Okay.
It reveals it in there,
No,
but that's unfair.
well, so did yours, and you were wrong.
Yeah.
So, what classifies the distinction between an adult and a child? What's the age here? If you're a 17-year-old with a 6-year-old, for example.
Well, the
Well, then
distinction
you're a
is
parent.
it's parent versus kid, not adult versus
Yeah.
child.
But you
So
could be a
technically.
child and a parent.
sadly, yes.
That's really sad.
And that's my answer.
What if they're a child at heart?
Well, I mean,
we
a
all?
teenager. We said 14 was a child, so I'm saying like a teenager.
I will say there are no trick questions here.
Oh,
Yeah,
then
we're
adult.
not trying to trick you.
Then adult.
Yeah. Okay. And here is the tiebreaker.
All right, you
Should I
guys
ask-
are tied now. Just
So that was correct.
Yes.
That was a parent.
yes.
Okay.
Okay. And then I guess whoever answers first for this one is tiebreaker.
Here we go.
Oh boy.
Okay. The title is Don't Bother. This film was kind of a waste of time. We definitely wish we hadn't spent $3 on it at the video
Child.
store.
You have to let him finish first.
You didn't say that.
This game show rules.
Keep reading, Brief. Finish the thing. Mikey's
Are you
already
sure?
submitted his answer. Andrew
No.
Andrew can submit his answer at any time.
You're changing
kids-
the rules.
The kids seemed to have liked it. Okay, but there are so many good things worth watching. Why waste 2 hours of your life on this one? 2 stars.
It's not even close to 2 hours long. Parent.
It was a parent of a 6 and 4-year-old.
$3. Mikey, what made you say child? I'm just curious.
You said whoever answered first.
You're
so the
right.
second I got an inkling, I answered.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think
I hate
think we're
that I answered the sentence right before. So my children.
I think where he got the child thing was because they said we spent $3, which a parent might just say I spent.
Yes, that makes sense. I get your
Blockbuster.
logic. And you know what? I'm going to give you both a point there. So we're all equal and everyone's happy.
But I was right.
And okay.
I make the rules.
All winners here.
Yeah,
Jess, I hate you.
you should. How about we go into a mid-show and then talk about some of these songs? Hey guys, sorry to interrupt you in the middle of a podcast that you're already listening to, but we've got a shill at you. Andrew, tell us about Patreon and what they get on Patreon.
Oh boy, Patreon is where you could donate money to us, and we have extra content on there. Got commentary tracks, we got extra podcast episode and video now we have on there. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you could see Mikey's face right now, and oh my god, he's doing a backflip. Oh, he's dancing. Oh, he's reenacting the entirety of Everybody Wants to Be a Cat. Holy, Mikey,
He
how
just
are
fell
you
through
doing
the floor.
that?
Three
Oh
stories.
my
He fell.
god. Oh my god, I can just see on the tip of his lips that he just wants to say, you guys should join our Patreon. I can see him wanting to say it.
You want to join their Patreon, but also
I did it. I got it. He
Oh,
did
see,
it.
he's smart though. He shielded his own as well.
Yeah.
First guest to actually show their own Patreon.
You know what? That is actually very smart. But our current patrons are Melissa Goldman, Terry Needleman, John Donna, Leighton Ackles, Danielle Renix, Jess the Stampede, Ewan Cassidy, Taskier, Fire September, Monica Thoreau, Mina Manuri, Brent Black, Haley Murray, Nathaniel Stacey Coombe, Joseph Evans Green, Carrie Ahern, Mary Lou Choquette, John Van Alls, Heck You, I Go By Elijah Now, Russ Walker, Musical Hell, Emily Gracie, Andrew Van Bar, Santa Blam, Kyle Summers, Jen A.C., Christina Francis, Scoot, and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, Felice R., Liz Lynn, Allison Steller, Nothing Is Certain Except Beth and Taxes, John Van Alls, Thespian, Ren Cullen, Wait in the Wings, Spectacle Machine, Jacob Stroop, Rafael Martinez Salaz, Robert Benjamin Rachel T, Jessica T, Genevieve Hartnett, Cass, Mitchell Young, Chai Teacup, Hayden Wilder, Katie McDonough, Timothy Keys, Jeffrey Machado, Jacques Hughes, Toon Van Essen, R. Elliott, Chris Marcotte, Katie Turberg, Mimu, Kiji Marie Anastasio, Leah La, RJ Norwegia. They give us a little extra financial support that helps us keep the lights on here at Musicals with Cheese, helps us pay Brie her wonderful salary, helps me build stupid sets like this. Look at this. Oh, you can't because you're not on Patreon. All right, you guys, is there anything else we got to say before we go back? Oh, yeah, buy our merch. We have merch still.
Yeah, we still have merch.
Last month was very good for merch, shockingly. Like, people were really buying it.
We didn't even talk about it at all.
We did not talk about it at all in June, and then people started buying for some reason, so thanks. All right,
let's get back to the show.
Good morning.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Which Aristocats is the finest in Paris? Which pets possess the longest pedigree? Which pets get to sleep on velvet mats? Naturally, the Aristocats.
Well, if it ain't the Aristocats.
What are those fancy cats doing on our side of town?
Crazy, man. Crazy.
Let's talk about that opening number, the Aristocats. And also in Aristocats Kids, it just becomes everybody wants to be a cat.
Yes, which is an improvement.
Yes, because absolutely no one remembers the song, the Aristocats.
Isn't it a little weird that it just fully turns into French at the end of the song?
No, that's a language that people speak.
Well, yeah, but half the song's in English, and then it seems odd to do that, in my opinion.
I don't think so.
Either do it all in French, like Ratatouille, or just do it all in English, like an English movie.
That was a horrible comparison, and you should feel bad about it. I think it sets the tone, also sets location very well for the movie. In the Aristocats Kids version, it's just like, you know what, everybody wants to be a cat, everyone knows that song, let's just start that. Like,
what, did you want the kids to sing in French, Jess?
Yes, it would have been funny, Andrew.
Yeah, you are correct, actually. It would have been pretty funny to watch them stumble through that.
I don't know. I think all the kids kind of nail this, like, opening where it's like, you know what, let's all just goof around for a bit, which is the vibe of Aristocats Kids, where you obviously have the one kid who's better than everyone else, and they just always put in, like, that lead role, and then everyone else is just kind of like, everybody wants to be a cat, and a cat's the cat. And that's the show.
Was that your kid impression?
Is that not how kids act?
You're right.
Like, that's the best thing about kid productions is just the looking at the kid that obviously was forced to sign up by his mom, play like the third dog in the background, and not interested in being on stage at all. That's the reason to watch kid productions. Yeah, you got the one good one who's nailing it and is going to be something someday, and then all the rest of them are just kind of there to have goof off.
Do you go to, like, elementary schools often and, like, watch their productions?
I've had to teach theater for many years to very young kids, so there was a period.
Okay.
I like that he just got you by just responding to your question as if it was in good faith. I love it. I love it.
That's generally the vibe of the show, I feel like.
Try to beat his, like, cynicism with sincerity. That's my goal every week, Mikey.
Generally, my job is to lose every episode, but claim that I won.
We haven't done that bit in a while where we try to argue who wins an episode, but we should bring that back one day. Mikey, what do you think of this opening number, especially, like, in the movie?
I liked that it ended in French because it set a scene, it set a destination. We knew where we were going. I thought all the backgrounds look good in this movie.
Wow,
It's interesting to
killed by
see.
faint praise. Am I right?
It's interesting to see a actual credit scene at the beginning of a movie. You don't see that anymore.
Yeah, the 70s was wild.
Yeah, crazy times.
Man, like if Aristocats is like the peak cinema, my God.
Let's talk about the next masterpiece.
Scales and arpeggios, one of the Sherman Brothers' best pieces of all time.
Do me,
banger,
so me, do me,
if you
so
will.
me.
Do me so do so me do do me so me do. Every truly cultured music student knows you must learn your scales and your arpeggios. Bring the music ringing from your chest and not your nose while you sing your scales and your arpeggios.
No, not that horrible caterwauling. I hate that noise. I wish I could get those cats to stop that sound. I wish I could ship them where they won't be found. I'd take them far away and where they'd wake up, goodness knows. Then no more singing scales and their arpeggios. I've got more milk.
I think we kind of talked about how cringe this is and how the kids can barely like string together a sentence, let alone a tune.
Is it better in the movie or is it better in the kids' production?
It's better in the kids' production because the girl that plays Duchess always kind of is. That's where the lead, the one girl that knows what they're doing, is there, and she kind of is like, "All right, I'm gonna put my effort into this." And then all the rest
That's the
of the kids
same
are
in
like,
the movie, though, because in the movie, when Duchess comes in, it's like the one actual singer shows up and outperforms everyone.
Well, it's also one of the things that you've mentioned really enjoying is that's a dubbed performance. That's not Zsa Zsa Gabor singing. And yeah, we should bring dubbing back for animated films.
Was Eva Gabor?
Eva Gabor or Ava?
I don't know.
I've heard it both, and I just stuck with the first one that sounded most right to my brain.
It was definitely not Zsa Zsa.
It is not Zsa Zsa Gabor. But Roby Lester did the dubbing for her in the movie. And yeah,
Well, she did good.
yeah, she did a very good job.
She didn't have to do very
dubbing
much,
actors do not get the respect that they deserve, especially not in those days. Rest in peace, Marty Nixon. Should have dubbed the kids, you know. didn't think
Maybe.
about that.
Do some Alvin and the Chipmunks kind of stuff with them.
Can I talk about the girl from the movie for a bit? Because I want to give her the credit because it's obviously an young American actress trying her best to do a British accent, but she just sounds like Princess Leia in the first Star Wars. Like, it's just barely there, but the effort was put across.
I don't even know if I can say you're right about that because I haven't seen Star Wars in so long.
It's pretty accurate. It's pretty.
Governor Tarkin, I should have known your foul stench when I was brought on board.
Bored. Yeah. Why, hello! I'm Princess Leia.
Hello. It was a diplomatic mission to Alderaan.
Oh no.
I want to meet the person that has base level has scales and arpeggios on a playlist. A single playlist. And they're like, I like listening to this.
I have a story about this,
Do me,
actually.
so me.
My best friend in high school loved this song so much and would sing it all the time. And so much that he put it into, he was valedictorian and he inserted a bit of it into his valedictorian speech.
I love that. Unironically, with all of my heart. I love that.
What bit did he put in?
I think he literally just says, we must learn our scales and our arpeggios. Like, I remember that bit was like, he would say it all the time, and he put it in his valedictorian speech to represent his position in band. I was like, you just fucking quoted the Aristocats.
It's like the most like overly
one
posh. It's like the most overly posh, like terrible, like it's like a Mozart wannabe song, and Mozart is like boring as sin, but I don't know.
Wait, I'm
Mozart or
cool
Haydn?
bagging on Aristocats. Are we bagging on Mozart?
Mozart
Yeah.
wrote poems about farts.
It's true. And also he wrote a bunch of really boring songs, and that's the
Damn.
defining feature of the
Hot
classical
take.
era.
Damn, you're tearing everything down. The Aristocats.
Give me Baroque or give me the one afterwards, but I can't remember the name of it.
Oh,
but
we're taking your word on classical music right here. Like after that statement.
I can't remember the one after it. It was good though. It's better.
Your favorite classical music. Yeah, you can't even remember. All right.
Classical music is only classical, period. You're not even saying it right.
I never claimed to be.
I didn't either. I just give him my opinion.
Mikey's just watching this like this marriage story right here going on.
This is every episode.
Yeah. There's not much to say about this. It is a weird song that fits right in that Disney niche where it's like, this is just a funny thing and we're going to try some animation techniques with this. Fucking paint everywhere. Let's try that. I don't know if either of you have watched Snow White recently. No.
Not recently.
This is very similar in structure, and I don't tend to watch the early days of Disney very often, just because who has time for that? But I did watch Snow White, and basically the songs function the same way, where it's like, we have this cool set piece idea for a song or for animation thing, so we'll just put a song there that'll kind of like also happen, which I think is a lot of the reasons why they did songs in their animation, where it's like, we have this idea for a visual that we want to get across, and we'll do a song along with it, where it's like, the dwarves are gonna go wash their face, and we're gonna put a song about them washing their face, because, water, that'll be difficult, right? Where this is like paint and pianos. That'll be hard to do, right? Let's make it a song.
If only they made it a more fun song.
Yeah.
I liked little kitty getting his little painty paws on there. That was adorable.
It's fun. Like, the animation is fun, but they could have done something more interesting, I feel like.
I think my personal opinion was, fuck that woman's piano. Like,
true. I mean, she gives her cats paint to play with. What does she expect to happen?
Gets on the piano.
Yeah. She gets what she pays for.
There's not much song, so I guess we got to talk about Thomas O'Malley Cat, where I wish I could just go around saying my own name in song and just no one's gonna bat an eye.
Who am I? Boys.
He's Abraham DeLacy. She's Happy Casey. Thomas O'Malley.
Got that right?
O'Malley the alley cat.
I've got that wanderlust. Gonna walk the scene.
The scene.
Gotta kick up that highway dust. Feel the grasslands green.
So green.
Gonna strut those city streets.
Yeah.
Showing off my eclat.
I don't know about that.
Telling my friends of the social elite
Or some cute cat he happens to meet.
that I'm Abraham DeLacy.
You're DeLacy.
Giuseppe Casey.
That's Italian for cool.
Thomas O'Malley.
Fantastic. O'Malley the alley cat.
I mean, not only do they not bat an eye, they like look at you and they're like, shh, we want to hear the song.
I'm Mikey Neumann. Ba-doo-ba-doo.
Does anyone buy this cat as like an actual alley cat? I feel like this cat is like clean and like suave. He just doesn't come.
It is okay. I'm gonna pause for a second. We're gonna talk about the movie. There's this weird trait where the youngest cat creature, the girl Marie, is really not really thirsting, but kind of thirsting for Thomas O'Malley throughout it, and then is like, oh yeah, Mom, you get that, and then they're like, man, now we're never gonna have a dad. I just find that entire vibe weird. Like, what
Did
happened?
their
where's
father
their
pass
dad?
away? I think that was said.
How did he die? How do you think the dad died?
The war.
I think that
I don't.
His name was
has to be-
Duke. He died in Vietnam. Don't ask questions.
Whoa. Fast forward 60 years.
What?
What if Thomas
Oh, yeah,
O'Malley
it's
was the
1910?
dad?
You're right. What?
Yeah.
They're just reconnecting. There is an orange cat among them. What if she was like is there such a thing as a breeder cat? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's called the Aristocats. There's definitely breeder cats. I mean, rich people only care about their genetics, I'm pretty sure.
Is that a Disney movie we can watch? Breeder cats.
Everybody wants to breed a cat.
Oh, no!
It writes itself. Everybody.
Speaking of that, let's talk Everybody Wants to Be a Cat.
Everybody wants to be a cat. Everybody wants to be a cat. Everybody wants to be a cat. Everybody wants to be a cat. Everybody wants to be a cat. Because the cat's the only cat who knows where it's at. While playing jazz, you always have a welcome mat. 'Cause everybody wants to be a cat. Everybody, everybody, everybody wants to be a cat.
The banger of this
Best
album.
song in the entire show.
It's not close.
No. Everything else, it's down here. This is like up through the ceiling. And then it drops down in the middle when we get the races, and then back right up.
But then it drops down 3 stories at the end.
You're right.
What
got
happens
too
at the
high.
end?
Well, they literally drop through 3 stories.
Oh.
It was a thing. It was a bit.
I was like, they got a dad. It's happy.
The thing is, it has nothing. Like, it is literally, let's stop the movie and have some fun, which isn't a bad thing, but also...
They had Scatman, and they're like, we're gonna use him. And that was it.
Correct decision.
I think
Yes.
if we were to do an Aristocats 2, I just want to know his story. I want to follow him around in his day-to-day life.
Can we just follow Scat Cat and just like the movie's just called Scat Cat?
Yeah, and Chinese Cat doesn't exist.
It opens with a placard that says, all of the cats from the first movie are dead. They died in the war.
Except Scat Cat, who's still alive.
Except for Scat Cat.
Scat
And that
Cat
fades
just
up
keeps
last.
on going.
I feel like we have to get like redemption and have like a Siamese cat that isn't horrifically racist, like a horrible stereotype as like redemption.
When was the last time you saw a Siamese cat?
And the Aristocats, I just watched it earlier today.
I mean,
That's
like
true.
an actual one.
I don't know. I don't see cats very often. And the ones I do see are just alley cats taken off the street that I have to like help and make sure they're not gonna be dead in a few hours, you know?
Are Siamese cats real, or are they just a racist invention of the Disney company?
No, they are real. I had one growing up.
You have one?
I had one growing up.
Wow, was it cute or was it... Are you a cat person, Mikey?
No, I was as a kid. They're good company, but cats are dicks.
Yeah, they're not man's
Full
best
stop.
friend type. They're man's complacent roommate at best.
I don't want a best friend. I want a cat.
Everybody!
I do want to talk about some of the songs written especially for Aristocats Kids.
Please.
So we decided, and the worst part is they're like 10 to 15 seconds. Like, it's the wackiest shit where it's like so strangely input that even the audience doesn't know. Should we clap at that? Like, was that a song?
Is it done? Wait, is it over?
Like, the Timbuktu song, I'm pretty sure is like 3 lines.
You thought you'd trick the trusted loyal butler, but no one's as sick, and no one's plans are subtler. Without you cats, there'll be no more at you. I'm having you shipped off to Timbuktu.
Did they have to give the person playing the butler a song? I can't
Yeah,
even remember.
yeah, it was Timbuktu, or literally the kid barely got the words out, and then the audience is like, yeah, song. It's almost over. We're getting there.
That qualified as a song, kind of.
I liked the goose song where
that
they
was
just
cute.
say their names and then they rhyme the name and
The
then it's
Gabby
over.
girls. Yeah, like literally, they waste no time.
I am Amelia, and I am Abigail. We're on a walking tour over hill and dale. We're at your service, sir. Help is on the way. Amelia and Abby will save the day. That's us, that's me, that's you, that's me. Amelia and Abby,
And the pretty Gabby.
we are the Gabbles, a couple of gabbling geese.
And then there's Roquefort to the rescue, which is the mouse. He gets his little rescue song.
Help is here!
Rockford!
Give that back before I cook your goose! Dogged at every step! How could it get any
Yeah, which this is when they introduce him, and it's also when they are done with him. All in one song, all in one go.
They give him one song though.
Hey, their parents came to record their 2 lines as a mouse.
You were so good. You were the best one up there.
That is why it's balanced like that, right?
Yes.
Just to give every kid a chance to be a Roquefort cheese.
I feel like they give everybody a song because then nobody feels like they're the worst person on the stage. But we all know it's definitely the Butler, because the Butler song is the shortest.
No, I would say it's the Dogs, because they have a full song, but it's an ensemble song, so that doesn't really count.
What if it's actually the Geese then? Because they also have like a duet, but it's also only like 4 lines.
The duet, and they also have a sizable amount of dialogue. You got to include that in.
I mean, what do you consider sizable? They're in one scene and they're gone.
I showed up with a camcorder to film my child as a goose.
I made that costume. I bled for that costume. And of course, the other goose bought theirs from some like wholesale shop, so it looks better than my shitty homemade thing I put love into.
Disney charges so much for these plays that the school can't afford to buy costumes. They have to put all of the money for the budget into the script.
There was a place where we could actually buy all the materials to make this, and I want to see it.
Probably like $4,000 to put on the Aristocats Kids.
Right, Mikey,
you actually have to email them and they will send you a quote. I already looked this up.
Oh, you did?
But they, like all the materials, I think it's like only like $400 just to get all the shit you would need.
Yeah.
Okay, so the piano vocal score is $40. The director script is $50. The actor scripts are $10 each. A 10-pack, though, is $75. The rehearsal accompaniment CDs is $75. The choreography DVD is what we think that's going to be. That's $50. The student rehearsal CD is $10. The student rehearsal CD 20-pack is $100. The audio sampler is $10.
Value.
But if you want to get the entire show kit, you have to pay $445 for a 30-minute play.
But the rights to put on that play on.
That's probably going to be like, from my experience with like MTI when I used to actually do this a lot more, it's thousands upon thousands of dollars, especially with something like Disney.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So,
and they don't sell costumes for it.
No, they don't. You gotta flip and make that for yourself. But I do want to say, like, the production that I watched a couple productions because, you know, I have all the time on my hands. So I watched a different version, and my God, the production design and like the stage, it was better than the West End Prince of Egypt musical. Like, they had actual sets and like some actual like pyrotechnics. It was pretty cool to see like children that can't act like have this amazing set around them. I'm not gonna lie.
When would they put in pyrotechnics?
When they lose the cats in the motorbike chase.
Oh, okay.
Like, it was pretty cool.
I liked the version that we watched where they were in the water, and the water was just one blue ribbon that they found.
Mine was 2 blue ribbons, and they put them between the people. It kind of looked all right.
Is there even any more songs? Are we done?
We're done. We got there. Bree, play the little finale clip to show that we're done. All right, you guys, what is our overall thoughts on the Aristocats and the Aristocats Kids and our cheese ratings? Mikey, do you know anything about our cheese rating?
I don't.
That's all right. I'll let Andrew go first, and he'll basically show it off. Andrew, you go first.
Sure. The Aristocats is a well-animated but boring movie with one good song and like a couple not very good songs. And the Aristocats Kids is that, but shorter and performed by children. So, you know, you take what you want from that, I guess. I don't think I'm going to review the kids' version that I watched. I feel like that's a little mean. As far as a cheese rating, I'll give the both of them a Brie de Meaux, which is an expensive French cheese, fitting for a rich cat, I'm sure.
That's a great cheese rating. All right, Mikey, you're up.
I'm thinking through all my cheeses.
Go ahead. Take your time.
No, we're in no rush here.
I think it earns store-bought, pre-grated Mexican mixed cheese. It's fine. It looks good on a commercial, but it won't bring you there.
Now, is that the movie or the kids version, or is that both as one cheese?
Okay. Both. They both basically qualified as cheap nacho cheese.
That's about right. You know what? That's fair. Bree, what do you think of our discussion and your cheese rating of that?
I love this discussion. It was so much fun and so funny compared to our last episode where we talked about Nazis.
Oh dear.
It was cabaret.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it was cabaret. I am going to give this a Rokufo in honor of the mouse in Aristocats, right? There's a little mouse?
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
All right. So the Aristocats hadn't aged well. I don't think as well as I had hoped, to be honest. But I did watch it a lot in Spanish. So maybe
Would you say it hasn't aged at all? It's just 1970s unapologetically hello.
maybe it's the fact that it's only aged. Like there's nothing else to it aside from the fact that it has aged. Not well, not bad, just it has aged. And the Aristocats Kids, you know, it's cute. If your kid is going to be in it, it's a half hour of your time that you won't be miserable at, and you can laugh at all the kids that don't really give a shit, which is all I really do, because there's always those kids that really don't want to be there, which are always strangely the most entertaining to watch.
It's always good to go into the audience of an elementary school and laugh at the kids as they perform.
The one guy is like, I just bought the tickets to come in here, you know, see the show.
Is that you?
No,
is that you?
Those do happen at a lot of kids shows where it's just like, hey, I wanted to see a show. I don't know any of the kids, but I wanted to see a show, which is fine, and they're usually pretty good and they're nice.
Watch list immediately on a watch list.
Maybe. I don't know. But my cheese rating is O'Malley's Cheese Bricks from O'Malley's Pub and Eatery. It's not your ordinary mozzarella cheese stick. Big battered fried Basio mozzarella cheese served with marinara sauce. That's because O'Malley. You get it?
That sounds like the ordinary mozzarella stick.
It's not your only. The cat O'Malley did it. All right, that brings us to the end of our show. Mikey, you are a wonderful guest, a very kind and generous guest. It was great chatting with you. Please promote your stuff out for everyone to find you.
If you think, let me turn my monitor off because it's so messed up at this point. If you think that people talking about movies on the internet get too negative too often, check me out. Go to youtube.com/FilmJoy. I'm a big dumb goof all the time. I love it. I talk about all the movies I like and really none of the ones I don't, except for Infinity War that one time. But the internet got really mad at me, so it was okay.
I am curious.
Check out Movies and Mikey.
Did your opinion on Infinity War change at all after seeing Endgame?
I really liked Endgame. I don't know if my opinions on what Infinity War did wrong changed, like to me, like movies that don't vibe with everything. I don't know. I liked Endgame a lot. I thought it accomplished what it set out to, which is like putting this beautiful bow on like 8 to 10 years of filmmaking. Like the way it connected back to Iron Man was like beautiful. But yeah, I just can't vibe with some of Infinity War sometimes. It's fine. If you like it, that's great. Keep watching it. I support you. That's what I do.
Mm-hmm. Uber positivity, and I always try to give you some of my favorite stuff that my guests do because I am always a fan of our guests. And honestly, I loved your Knives Out bit retrospective. That was such a great
thank you.
Like, and everything you went into about Steve Yedlin's work and all that, it's great. As well as a lot of you're one of those few people that can do something outside of their like usual show, which is Movies with Mikey, and have it both be as effective as that and equally as entertaining. Your deep dives, those are such a joy to watch, like just hang out, and it's specific in the ways that you like shoot them, if they're not just like people watching movies. That is an excellent series.
Deep Dive is coming back soon. We shot 2 episodes in the last few weeks. We're editing them right now. I think they're very funny. So I'm glad to hear that you like it. That's great.
And if I'm going to recommend one of those, I will definitely say either Wild Wild West or Batman v Superman. Those two are great joys. And I like the fact that you stop in the middle of the movie, because not a lot of people appreciate how different your opinion will be at the midpoint as opposed to the end. That is like
record it all the way. Yeah.
It's one of the most interesting parts of it. All right, Mikey, thank you so much for that. Everyone, you should go follow him. He's got some great content. But you know who doesn't have some great content, Andrew?
Me?
Yeah, that's right. That's us. So why don't you go follow us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher at Musicals with Cheese. We're on Twitter at Cheesy Musicals, Patreon Musicals with Cheese, Instagram Musicals with Cheese, YouTube page Musicals with Cheese. Our patron-only podcast is Patreon with Cheese. It's going to be some cool stuff on there. I got plans. Andrew doesn't even know about them. Email us at musicaltheaterlives@gmail.com. Our title card was created by the amazing Jolene Casco. Go send her some love at Jolene Casco. Our keeper of the cheese is Juliet Antonio. Thank you for doing that, Juliet. Our show is produced by the incredible, the wonderful, one of my favorite people in the entire world, Brianna Jones. I love you to death, Bri. We have some brand new theme songs that you just heard today, and that's just the beginning. And they are all created by Robin Nash of IOUmusic.uk. Go check her out. She's got some great stuff. Thank you to the Broadway Podcast Network for having us on the platform and for not kicking us off yet for, talking trash about the Aristocats. All right, you guys, is there anything else you want to say before we wrap this all up?
I think we've covered everything there is to say about Aristocats.
I disagree.
No further discussion is needed for the human race.
There's one more thing we have to talk about. There's one more thing we have to say.
Oh, no.
Everybody
wants to be a cat.
Hallelujah.
Everybody.
All right, we'll see you next time on Musicals with Cheese.